welcome back to my channel. So today we'll be talking about books to take for your travels or maybe your road trip. I believe that all of us really miss traveling, and I miss traveling so much so that I actually ended up dreaming about traveling. So I was asked for this recommendation from someone in the booktube group, so I'm thinking, why not? The first one is Paulo Coelho's By the River Piedra, I Sat Down and Wept. So I actually picked up this copy during my first successful solo trip. Emphasis on the word successful, by the way. I stumbled upon this copy and I ended up reading it throughout my trip, and the feeling was surreal. So the story is about Pilar, who is reunited with her first love, who one day just went away, and now he's back as a mysterious person who is curing people. And it's kind of a journey of religion, philosophy, spiritual. Regardless of your affiliation or non-affiliation to any form of organized religion, I think this is a great book for you to just bring along. When I read this book during my trip, there was this surreal feeling to it. I think this is just a matter of Paulo Coelho's writing. The most profound moment that I had was, I had this room, it was facing the sunrise. So I just wake up early, I read the book, and then as I read and I was waiting for like my camera to record the sunrise, it was definitely surreal. And then there's like people cooking breakfast. It was probably one of the most beautiful feelings that I have as I was reading this. I think it's not just the sunrise, but it's also by Mr. Coelho's writing as well. By the River Piedra, I sat down and wept. There is a legend that everything falls into the waters of this river. Leaves, insects, the feathers of birds is transformed into the rocks that make the riverbed. If only I could tear out my heart and hurl it into the current, then my pain and longing would be over and I could finally forget. By the River Piedra, I sat down and wept. The winter air chills the tears on my cheeks, and my tears fall into the cold waters that course past me. Somewhere this river joins another, then another, until far from my heart and sight, all of them merge with the sea. May my tears run just as far, that my love might never know that one day I cried for him. May my tears run just as far, that I might forget the River Piedra, the monastery, the church in the Pyrenees, the mist, and the paths we walked together. So I find that the prose is really beautiful, although some people might have trouble trying to process what this book is actually about. Hi guys, this is me editing here. So I forgot to address some things in Paulo Coelho's book. In this book, it also talks about the idea of God as a female entity. So yeah, Paulo Coelho has done Ariana Grande's song before she actually has the idea for it herself. This might be triggering to some people, but if I'd say so, I just put a trigger warning in there. As a person of faith, I believe that God is neither female nor male. In this book, I'm just simply focusing on the idea that the character Pilar is finding her spirituality again through this concept. If this is triggering for you, then I would not recommend it. Otherwise, it's a good exploration on other people's perspective on the way they see God. So yeah, that's it. But for me, it's about a reconciliation of your inner spirituality, expectations of love, because the journey lies with Pilar, who will, after reuniting with her first love, she faced that he might not be the same person that he used to be, and that he might serve a greater purpose, and she's trying to reconcile whether she wants to be with him as he was before, or as what he could have been. Basically, for me, like, this one is a 9 out of 10. Next, we have The Beach by Alex Garland. I don't have a physical copy of that, but I did visit the island that it was set in, and yeah, I had my family vacation there. It was absolutely beautiful, very touristy, which is the opposite of what the book is all about. So the story is about Richard, a traveler slash backpacker who stumbles upon a map to this island after his roommate in Bangkok killed himself. He and the other two travelers went on this journey to this supposedly secret location, and then they find like this community of people or tourists who were there on that island. Basically, it's illegal. It's illegal to be in the island because it is actually supposed to be a marine park. But they were there because no one actually supervises the island. They managed to form a community. There's like people in charge of the food, people in charge of cooking, cleaning, gardening, etc., etc. It's like a village where they forget about their real life and just relax and chill on the beach, getting high. I find the book a little bit slow at the beginning, I'm not gonna lie. I almost dropped it, but Alex Garland has this way of sprinkling the right amount of hints in the strategic parts of the books so that, you know, even though you feel like you want to drop it, you don't really want to drop it because you're like curious what exactly is going to happen next. There's this sinister idea with the island itself and how it's dubbed as like this paradise on earth, and that they're having it all to themselves, no authorities to tell them what to do. The island itself is turning them into the husk of their former selves, turning them into a totally different person, especially Richard. Since we're like looking from his perspective, we get to see his deteriorating mindset. Especially, it's obvious that he's actually still not properly dealing with the trauma of seeing someone died. And then there's a whole other thing where how travelers, they can travel like for such a long periods of time and then they forget about family. Because I was actually questioning myself, like, they have been in this island for months, aren't their family even the least bit worried about them? And then how they all can just overlook some important things like death and just say, hey, we're just gonna bury this guy here. Won't his family be worried? Doesn't he deserve a decent burial? Doesn't his family members deserve to know? They care more about protecting that Eden. It's a bit slow at the beginning, but when it hits you, you know. So I think that this is actually a really great book. I am actually looking forward to watch the movie with Leonardo DiCaprio. Although I'm not sure why they picked Leo, but I guess I understand because Leo has this innocent look to his, I mean, of course, young Leonardo DiCaprio looks so innocent and cute. So to see him going on this path of emotional and mental downhill can be a bit jarring. So I'm excited. I'm gonna watch the movie. And last but not least, we have the Book of Forbidden Feelings. This book is not exactly a travel book, but I have a story. I picked it up during my first solo travel. Not my first successful solo travel, but my first attempt at solo traveling, which failed badly. My phone broke. I didn't bring my laptop, and I don't have my phone. I have 3 days, and I was scared. My only source of entertainment was this book, and thankfully, a hotel room with TV on it. Thankfully, though, it's only for 3 days. The takeaway that I get from that trip was that always have a spare phone with you. Keep your old phones in good shape and take them during your travels. That is like the biggest takeaway that I had from that trip. So this one is by Lala Bohang. So I didn't know that Lala Bohang was actually quite popular at the time. I only saw her name again once I watched this video poem, the New York Hari Ini, which was a tie-in to Ada Apa Dengan Cinta Dua, which was like my guilty pleasure. I was like, okay, Lala Bohang is actually quite great. The thing about this book is that I agree and disagree with some of the stuff that she wrote. I actually love the illustration. I thought the illustration was absolutely gorgeous. They have some of the more beautiful and unique illustrations in here. Yeah, this one is also quite good. I like this, the artwork that she has. It adds relatability. I'm not gonna say that I like everything in here. I give this a 3 out of 5 and on Goodreads. That's about life. Insta poems mostly are now kind of blend together. It's almost about the same thing. How can you distinct from one poet to another is just by their style of writing. There are some things that I like. For example, let me just find stuff that I like. Sorry. Another illustration that I like is this one, where about the type of men that you might meet. The structure is actually a bit different than what I'm used to, but I'm also fascinated by it. But at the very least, like, she's trying to play around with the pages and the illustrations. Okay, I'm gonna read you the ones that I like. Woman to woman friendship is the hardest of them all. Woman to woman friendship is the hardest of them all. It's caring, but at the same time bullying. It's supportive, but at the same time envious. It's a smiley expression, but at the same time judgmental. It's understanding, but at the same time demanding. It's a sweet emoticon, but at the same time constant comparisons. It's accepting, but at the same time never feel good enough. It's listening, but at the same time talking someone's back. Oh yeah, this is the one that I like. This is another one. You're a piece of blank paper. No scratch, no ink, nothing. Just you, so pure, so clean, so white, so ready, so where attachment destroys the purity level to the bottom and heaven under the earth. Always seeking for more destroys the purity level straight back to the darkest sea. When it comes to Insta poems, they're breaking the structure, I'd say. I mean, it depends. Sometimes it works, sometimes it doesn't. Now in this case, I actually like the first one, the woman to woman one, better, but this one I like what it's trying to convey, but at the same time I'm not a fan of the structure. There are also some parts that I don't like. Self-destruction comes in handy nowadays. Date your best friend's ex, play games on your mobile phone while you're in an important meeting. Wear your fluffy headphones while your mother is talking about the horror of the future and the importance of open-minded feminism. Forget everyone's birthday, even when you check your Facebook daily first thing in the morning. Eat junk food 6 days a week just because it's too late to cook. You have few things to do, no time to prepare anything in the kitchen, and it's too dark to go out for food. Simply talk about your friends behind their backs with random people and on every WhatsApp group where your friends are not one of the members. Pick 1 or 2 quote images to upload on Instagram. That surely will make your ex feel offended. Embrace every mistake and your lover's cheating habit as a typical thing. Self-destruction also plays an important role as a self-medicine, the best of the best. Well, for me, I agree. Yeah, sometimes we just need to let ourselves go. But at the same time, it's not the same as self-destruction. Self-destruction is just, ruining yourself. So yeah, as you can guess, this one is not exactly a book on a road trip. But I did grab it during my trip and I actually had fun. And it did bring me some comfort. And what is life but a journey?
Wow.
Doing this video made me feel like picking up some of other Lala Bohang's book. Let me know if you have any recommendations. So that is all for this video. Thank you so much for watching, guys. Do you guys have any other road trip or travel books to recommend? Let me know. So thank you guys so much for watching and I'll see you guys in the next video. Bye bye.